Hey guys, can you see me okay? We're not too close here, but hopefully this is close enough for you to see what I'm doing. Get these things out of the way. Okay, so what I'd like to talk about, man, this is sort of a weird angle. It's a little bit better. It's not too bright. How's that? Is that better? Oh yeah. What's up? Gotta fix it. It's gonna go on my face anyway, but I gotta at least make it. So I was wearing the hat, so I had to wash my hair. Took me a little bit to get on here. Sorry about that, but I am here. So we're gonna talk about some really basic sword stuff having to do with Kung Fu. I say sword stuff because there is so much to learning the sword with Kung Fu because we have the Chinese style broadsword, which is, it's very much. If you guys know Huang from Soul Calibur, that's what we're looking at. I don't think I have my broadsword down here, but basically, you're looking at a curved blade similar to a katana, but it gets wider at the end. A lot of people call them like pirate swords or something like that. It is very similar to a saber, but much wider. And that was the point, was that they were supposed to be able to be easily swung quickly and then slash back the other direction and have them being effective too. Then at the same time, without them being too heavy to wield with one hand. A lot of them would use shields too. So when we talk about Kung Fu, we also talk about the fact that we have a lot of straight sword in there too. So a lot of the times you might see a Tai Chi stylist using a straight sword or something with their form. Snake is where we get this from. Snake and Dragon will typically use those straight sword forms, and we're talking about a double-bladed sided sword there, where there's a blade on either side. And so that's actually going to work quite a bit differently than you would with a one-sided sword, where the blade is on one side. It's definitely going to work differently, and we're going to be doing things different. So how do we then do things in uniform in Kung Fu? How do we say, oh, this is a broadsword, but at the same time, I want to convert my knowledge. I don't want to necessarily just learn broadsword. I want to think about this uniform. So that's what I would say stuff. I want to go over how to more properly just block with sword in general with Kung Fu using those principles. So we might go over straight sword stuff. We might go over some of the curved blade stuff, but it's mainly just going to be very simple blocking and some attacks thrown in there to show you what you can do with it. So with that being said, as far as we're using a sword again, guys. Even if I did, like I said, I thought I had my broadsword, but like at the same time, even if I did, we're not yeah, like that's I can't just show you that or anything like that. Um, we're just going to be using the combat sword, and aside from that, I'm going to be hitting the bag. So we don't want to be hitting the bag with anything too hard. So anyway, first one we're going to be doing very simple. Um, it's much like a kung fu stylist will block using very simple sort of placed hands. Honestly, a lot of this comes down to the kung fu stylist. Um, I'm sure you see this a lot. And you're like, what is this? Um, does this that would never work? You can't just throw it does for a kung fu stylist. They learn the conditioning for that, and the point is that that twist we talked about. A lot of stuff comes down to your body moving, and then what your next movement will be. So if we think about a sword in the same way, a lot of times with a sword, you are literally just shifting this back and forth very simply when you block with it. Now, sometimes you may bring it up like this, and now this is straight sword we're using with one hand, but it doesn't really change it if I use it with two. It's just realized that my other hand is here for stability, as this is a bigger and longer sword. So when we convert from one hand to two, a lot of the stuff that's going to change um, really just is in how we think about the how we swing. What we're going to be doing with our hands once we swing, because obviously we can't swing this like a baseball bat. Like what I was just about to do would have been really wrong. And also this is a really bad example because this 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 handle is kind of an interesting size. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to show you guys, I don't have anybody to sort of throw an attack at me or anything like that, so I'm just going to have to show you this on the bag. I show you like a block, and then like something I can give you to finish it off with. It's very simple stuff we're talking about. So let's say you're fighting somebody with a sword. I like to do comparable things. So when I show a technique, a lot of times I just do it off of a punch, and just, this is off of a punch unless I want you to learn it off of something else. I think it'll work well off a grab or something like that. Then I'll show you off that. Other than that, what we're doing this stuff off of is we're assuming that our opponent, has a sword. So if they have a sword and they're coming down, sort of like this, a really good block, and you guys have seen me do this before, is that one where we're blocking up high. Now, when I'm doing this with a single blade, a single-handed sword instead of a double-handed sword, one thing I want to remember is that my block won't be as strong as it would if I'm holding with my back hand and have this whole reinforced sword. Does that make sense? I can rest the whole thing against my arm. The idea is that if you have that katana, that really long-handled weapon, when you have that up like that, it's the sort of thing where the moment you block, you can have the sword all the way down your arm and really guard your arm well with that, so that when you come around, it's just no contest. And again, even with a katana, once we swing, yeah, just like with a baseball bat, you eventually let go with the other hand, but you don't wind up like a baseball bat. It's very different. Anyway, it's similar but different. Anyway, the very first simple one that we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to do one of these upper high blocks with one of these single-handed swords. So again, if a sword's coming at you right down like this, you're going to block up right like this, and this is that slash that we did before. You're going to slash back one way and slash the other way. And I'm breaking this down because we only did this sort of, this is a very similar to that one we did in the short, but I'm breaking this down more so you guys can understand it. So again, now the one we did in the short is more for double-handed sword, but this one's going to be like, you're just going to sort of bump it. You're going to hit it up. You're going to 1, 2, 3. Now, the way you want to do this with the single sword, the single-handed sword, if this is a curved blade, this is the one you're doing. Yeah, this is a curved bladed technique. So don't do this with the double blade. This is a curved bladed technique. We're talking about curved bladed techniques at the moment. So again, bump that sword, come up basically up over your own head. But really it's your elbow that's doing that. And then slash back the other way. So all together, basically it's going to look like this. We're going to bump up, and then basically you're going to follow through. 1, 2. Okay? So again, we bump up like we're blocking the sword. Wham. Okay? 1, 2, and then we follow through. And then you can flip those around depending on the situation. But basically we're doing that just really quick bump up. 1, 2. And then when you come back the other, it's 1, 2. Really nice and quick. So again, if you're doing it for real, okay? All right, it's really gonna be like that. You know, it's not gonna look nice, and it's not gonna look, you know, it's gonna be real fast. So just bump that sword up, 1, 2, and then basically, that's like the body, and then this is like under the armpit. So I mean, you can do this however you can open up the arm first and then come back. Or if they would come with the other side, then that's the sort of thing where you would want to grab with your other hand, so that way you can reach across the body and then come down this way and up across. So again, for a single-handed sword, not a double-handed, not a long katana, just single-handed sword, you're just going to bump, slice, slice. Now, what this sword's usually going to do is it's going to come right back here. So a lot of times you can stab in with that one if you want, but if you're doing that with a curved blade, you want to flip it over. Yep, you're gonna take your backhand and flip that over, and then stab. I wish I could show you with this. With this, it just looks like I'm turning it, but that's what you're gonna do, so that way the point flips upside down and it's actually facing the target. Okay, so to convert that to the double-handed technique, like we did in the short, similar to that, it's actually a lot easier to do, because for this one you sort of have to be quick on your feet, because you don't want to spend a whole lot of time in front of them. And in fact, if you're doing this like this, a lot of times this slash will come straight across, and you'll sort of bring this back, and it's almost like you're lined up. But when you're doing this with the double blade, the double hand, single blade, you're going to come up and just slash straight down the body and then up. Just straight up. You don't have to, you can bring two hands. You do not have to with this. You'll be lined up in such a way that even with your double-handed sword, because you have your other hand here, you're going to use your momentum of your other hand moving this way to slash up. and it's going to look cool too. And then you can make it a second movement to another target. So again, for the other one, for the katana, the double-handed one instead of the single-handed one, it's the same block, except this time it's more controlled, more reinforced. So you can sort of like sink a little bit with this. You don't have to like immediately like. It's the sort of thing where you can really like get a nice push with it, and then slash, and then you can, like I said, you can come up straight through. You can come down again. You can just slash. You can. I added. What did I add? A spin. So like you can, when you come up, you can slash through and add a spin too. Yeah, that's fine. So it's the same technique, but what we're doing is when we bump and we slash, instead of slashing back this way, when we bump and slash, we're just continuing to spin instead of going back the other way. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So when you do this, can you guys see me? So when you do this, like with that short, that was the concept, was to show if you get that clasp, you go under the arm, and then you can spin again and really get that second one in for a follow-through. Because the idea is you're going to be a little close. So that second one will be a nice follow-through, but your momentum will push them back too. So again, if you want the spin, you would bump, slice. So anyway, we can go over a little bit of what we went over about the easy blocking. But it's not going to look like much in a video. The easy blocking for a sword looks ridiculous. So it's very much like fencing. You're gonna keep your hand here. A lot of people do the 2 fingers. You can just keep a whole hand here. That's fine. But basically, what it looks like in Kung Fu, when you block simply with a sword, I mean, I'm not even joking. It really is just very small movements where you're sort of shifting this part straight into the blade, right, like that. Okay, so those are your very, very simple blocks. I mean, it's no different than, you know, something like this with your hand, you know. I mean, it really is no different. So that's my point, is since we're talking about an extension of our own hand here, that's the point, is you want to shift that. You really want to get into the habit of just doing those easy ones, and then also being able to do them like this too. Okay, now understand, this is bad. I'm opening myself up here. So that's why you see me, anytime I go this direction, I add a spin to it, where I can put my protected shoulder in front of them or something like that. Regardless, it's very simple movements where we're just keeping our elbow bent. Fingers sort of come out, and then you just move the sword. Now, when I move it in like this, my fingers do come out, but then as it comes back, my fingers come back in again. Part of the reason for that is because I can move it like this, but if I always keep all fingers on my hand, my sword at all times, and I'm moving this thing around, I promise you, somebody will disarm you. You do not know what you're doing with the sword, and learn a few things, okay? Because having your hand loose means you can grab it again. If it's already in your hand and it gets smacked, it's coming out. So when you have it like this, if it gets smacked, you can always grab it again, and you can cigar it. Is the point? Okay. The idea is that you can grab the sword and do something about it. It's the sort of it's the same concept as with the staff. You know, why do we spin the staff? Well, because if you stand there, someone's gonna whack it, or just run up and grab it, and yank it out of your hand. So that's the point. It's like the concept of why somebody walks up and starts going, hey yeah, whoa 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 whoa. It's the same concept, because if your sword is just here, well, I'm just going to walk up and slash your hand. Literally all I'm going to do, and you're going to drop your sword. That's why, like, there's so many people, like, that I can just tell immediately that, you know, like, over the years that, you know, I've trained with, where it was like, you know, oh yeah, I know sword and blah, 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 you know. And then I actually train with them, and it, you know, some of these really basic things don't seem to be known to them. And, you know, it's the sort of thing where, like, if you don't know some of the most basic things, somebody else that knows sword is immediately going to expose that walking into that match with you. So, like, one of the things that I like to do. Let me see if I have a big sword, something. I can grab my staff. So, like, just as like a concept, I can't. The ceiling's a little too low to, and I don't want to hit a pole. But basically, oh, maybe we can just go outside for a second. I'll just explain it in here. It's the concept that, like, if I see somebody inexperienced, but maybe, like, you know, they're fast and agile, so I don't want to underestimate them. You know, it's the sort of thing where, like, okay, I'm gonna do that technique that it's really easy for me to do, that I know that he won't get. So one of the concept behind that is I a lot of times will hold my staff like this. Sit. And, you know, I think it's funny the amount of people that think I'm open. You know, because, like, that's the point, is, like, I want you to think that. So, you know, I hold my staff like this, and they think I'm open, and, you know, basically one of two things happens. They attack the very obvious areas, right? Now, there's a little bit more to do if they go for my head. But a lot of times with my hand high like this, they like to go for the legs or the midsection or something like that. The point is, I have a lot open here. And, you know, so I'll even put my staff sort of behind me like this sometimes, so that you kind of really forget about it. And yeah, like, as soon as that technique comes, I'm just dropping wide into that stance, and this thing's coming around full speed, full hilt, right at your head. And whatever technique you're doing, I have timed very carefully and now going under it, and this thing's coming at your head. So it's the concept of, like, having a strategy in mind, knowing that that person won't see past it because of what you've already deduced about them, and then following through. I have surprised people with this plenty of times before, where I used that technique, and then, you know, sort of just boom, you know, just right in the side of the head, you know. I'm not going to do it real hard here, but the idea is that you know, you don't really see it coming. It's just all of a sudden this thing falls into your face, and off the twist, you know, the back leg like that. That is a really hard hit. Not much you can do. I'm at a really good distance. Yep, you better know some animals to avoid that one. So anyway, that's that concept. I see someone in here. Thanks for joining. There's only so much that we can do online. Yeah, only so much we can do online, but we're making do, right? So anyway, simple blocking, very easy stuff. Now, we're going to talk about this other block that I love to use. I don't expect you guys to get it, but I'm still going to talk about it. The reason I say that is because this sort of block is the kind of thing where it meshes the animals and like a lot of concepts that go with learning this specific kung fu very well. So like, you know, I do it and it just comes naturally to me. But I've definitely tried to teach this to people who didn't study my style, you know, just try to teach the block and counter with this. And it was very confusing to them. They really did not understand, you know, how to use the feet with the hands. It was really just about that. It was really about the footwork that they weren't getting. And so, and as I've always said, guys, it's all about your footwork. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. This one is going to be like, all right, so something's coming to the side, like a side slash or something like that. You know, they're slashing to the side. Whatever they're doing, you know, is coming at your side. Right here in your midsection, okay? Maybe here, okay? So, the point is, how do we block something so strong from a sword, all while getting in on our attacker? Kung Fu does this very well. The same concept that you use the attacker against you. You know, someone's throwing a punch. You know, one of my favorite things to do is, you know, sort of kind of go with it and, you know, really kind of go with it and sort of throw that strike. One of my favorite things to do is use their own momentum against them. So, using that same concept applying to the sword. When we do these side blocks that I talked about going, you know, for anything coming down here, like low, that's what we're talking about. So, and remember how I said we can add a spin with those, especially going this way? Well, we want to do it going the other way too, but if we do it going the other way, we have to realize that our sword goes with us. So we have to know what to do with that. We do this block where it comes in at our side here. So we're going to throw the hand out behind, block, and then you're going to twist the body. Okay, and then you can stab. A lot of times I like to twist around all in motion and wrap and spin. Sorry, it's a little hard to get in the frame here. So again, you're going to twist. Okay, and this is, a lot of times this is like broadsword. You'll see this done like this a lot of times where, you know, they're coming right like that. This is more a block first, and then I'm wrapping the head and slicing through. I'm trying to stay in the frame, guys. So, again, wrap, slicing through. Now, the reason why this is looking goofy is because this sword's just too short. Your sword probably would be longer than this for this technique. Otherwise, you probably just wouldn't do it like that. Yeah, if you have like a little tiny one, you want to kind of push it like that. You do not necessarily want to do the wrap. There's really no reason for it. A lot of times that wrap is just to get enough strength to wind up your sword, especially if it's like a bigger one, so that way you're trying to lift your hand up in front of somebody. It just makes sense that while you're spinning, you would wrap that hand so it's already there. You don't need to do anything addition. It's just happening, and that's why I say Kung Fu just works, because it's the moment you even counter that, they're right there in your face, and you just pull it straight down. So it's like they fall straight into your technique, and there's really nothing they can do unless they've seen that before, you know. So, This is typically, like I said, Chinese broadsword, where we have that curved blade. This works great for, um, especially because it's a thicker sword. It can really catch that blade. So you know, that's what you ultimately what you want. You want the. It's gonna wrap. Okay. That's not an easy. That's not really. I wouldn't call that basic, but I just wanted to show you guys what you can eventually do with basic blocking. Your bait in Kung Fu, you have to think about it like this. Your basic blocking, your basic striking, and all that stuff is eventually going to turn into your advanced blocking and your advanced striking and all that stuff. And your basic techniques turn into your advanced techniques, and the reason for that is because it's all connected. You're just adding what you already know, and then putting a little bit more to it that makes sense, based on what you already know how to do. You're not convoluting what you already know. Does that make sense? So. This is taking concepts, you know, from so many different things, but basically that's how we break it down. And then, you know, this is using the concept that basically, as that punch comes, or as whatever comes at me, you know, that comes at me, you know, the idea is that I'm already here with my hand. So if I see something else coming this way from the other side, the idea is that I can spin out of the way. And then now I'm moving around it. Does that make sense? So the idea isn't like necessarily it's this punch or this strike. The concept is, as I am avoiding that particular strike, I see another one, or something else happens, and so I add the spin to avoid that, all the while blocking this first one, avoiding that second one, and following through. So that's a lot of what this one's for, is like, if you had like even two guys, like one here and one here, and they were both basically attacking you, you really could rake both swords and do slashes to both. You really, really could. You would just have to be very fast. Yep, it would take a lot of speed. And you just need and technique. You'd have to know what you're doing. But, yeah, you could do it. Yeah. Yep. So, anyway. Let's do like another simple one. Ones that you guys can do. So, a lot of, like I said, a lot of blocking with sword is with the thumb. You're sort of curling and making sure that that thumb is actually up. It's actually a lot of what proper blocking is here too, where our thumb is up and above the wrist, so that way we can reach around to grab. Very, very, very similar concepts there. We're just applying, you know, again, martial arts to the sword. So, with basic ones, again, we did the one where we went to simply, you know, our basic blocking is like this, but we did also the one from up here for up high, which is that other block I showed you, combining that with what you know with hands. It's very similar to that one I told you never do the X block. Well, that's actually sort of what you're doing there is you're letting a hand fall down this one and cleaning it off. So it's actually very similar to this, where this is that initial block, and that's the clean. So that's the concept there. Now next one, we could do it this way. So this is actually pretty easy to do. But let's see. Yeah, you could do this, like I said, you could do this with, actually, no, let's not do that one. Let's do a different one. I have a much more, this one's going to be fun. So, here's what we're going to do. They're gonna stab, like you're gonna have, they're gonna slash like normal, or we have maybe like a slash row like this at our neck or our midsection or something like that. So what they're gonna do is they're just gonna do that slash. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna do this very simple. We're gonna cross our hands. So this slash is gonna come right like this. We're going to cross our hands and go straight in, so that way you lunge forward and lift up their arms, and then you're gonna throw a knee. You're just going to go straight in, lift up their arms. You're going to throw a knee. So again, the sword's doing the work here. I really wish I could show you with another sword. This one's so cool too. When I do this, if the sword's coming this way, this is what I'm doing, okay? This is not going to work this way if the sword's coming this way. What I'll do is I'll flip it around and do it that way, but I'll have to do something else to finish it off. This will work this way if the sword's coming this way. They're right-handed, basically. So you guard it, you block it, it hits against your arm, and then you're going to clean it off, and that's going to force them up. You're going to knee or you're going to kick, and then you're just going to come straight down. Knee, kick, and then you're just going to come straight down, right like that. You can cross the arms, right like that. It's pretty fun. So, 1. Okay, so it's 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I guess that's pretty advanced. Sorry. Let's do an easy one. Hit straight up. Right like this. Take your back foot. Your front foot. Step back and slash through. So again, this is all going to be footwork, but this one's easier. Your front foot forward, backhand. Okay, they're attacking you. Whatever, it probably works good off a stab. You could do this off of a slash if you really wanted to. A stab, it works nicely. So if they're stabbing in here, what you want to do is just angle the sword kind of right like this, so that way as it hits, the sword would slide off this way. Okay? Don't ever go straight out like this. Your sword's just going to kind of go like that. Angle it. And then what you're going to do, like I did, is take this front foot, take a step back, and then as that sword comes at you, basically that's what you're doing. They're moving forward. You're going to step with it, lift up on that stab, and then slash. So all together, it's pretty cool, right? All together, they stab in, lift up, lift the front knee, take a step back, and slash. Does that make sense? You can... if you can see that basically as you're doing this, that their stab is such that you can reach across and grab their hand, like as you're lifting this up, you can quick grab their hand, do it. Yeah, do it. Because ultimately that's what you would want, to get a control of their hand, to get their sword out of their hand. But yeah, like that's a good one, is Basically, just upright like that. Lift the knee. 1, 2. I'm sorry, guys, I can't. So, up, down. 1, 2. 1. So it's 1, 2. And that's all you're doing. You don't got to do all the fancy stuff, guys. You really can literally just lift your hand, lift the knee, and follow through. I'm just showing you that because that's the right way. Another way to do this, a defensive, offensive way to do this. As they stab, be quicker. Yeah, just stab their shoulder. If you're good with a sword, all you got to do is reach across and stab the shoulder, and then finish the technique like I just did. It's literally the same technique, except you're shifting your shoulder out of the way, this one, and stabbing their opposite. And then you can even flick the sword up and slice through. So, yeah, it's like a 2-in-1 there. Okay. So, if there's anything, let's see, let me put chat up. All right. Now, if there's anything in particular you guys want to see, you want any like questions about or anything like that, ask me. Do it. We're doing mainly like sword stuff and all that, but I mean, like if there's other stuff that you guys want to see or whatever, then we'll, work on that a little bit. I just want to give you guys the content you want to see, and also content I enjoy doing. I love doing martial arts content, so if there's stuff that you guys like want to know how to do or something like that, I'll do the best I can. I don't have an attacker, so I'll do the best I can with like a bag and all that. What I was gonna do still, is just keep running through a few like basic concepts with like sword and all that. What's really fun to learn about, sword with Kung Fu is just to learn how crazy some of these movements are, and then they work. Like, I remember, like, when I was first learning this, like, one of these things that I was learning where we do this, and I'm like, what on earth are we doing this for? Well, this is literally the concept that teaches you how to how to properly weave in and out of someone's arms with us. So you guys remember the escape I did, where we shot the arm down through and escaped with our arm? It's literally that with a sword. Yeah, I thought that was so cool, just learning that stuff and applying it. Friggin' combat swords, let me tell you, the amount of times I've been whacked by one of these things. Ah, yes, sparring with weapons. Good times. So anyway, let's work some more basic stuff, I suppose. Hold on, let's get the get back over here. Okay. All good. Now, what do we want to go over? We could learn. I could teach you guys proper cigaring is what they call it. I literally just did it without even realizing it. I could teach you that. All right. So one thing that you do learn in Kung Fu is like how to properly. All right. So I have my way of doing it, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you're a Kung Fu stylist and you learn Kung Fu and all that, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you stand with your sword in a fight against somebody else who also has a sword, and that person is skilled, and you stand like this, or like this, or yeah, like just I'm just throwing it out there. You know, you're projecting an opening, and that's fine. You know, as long as you know how to use that, that's fine. I will tell you though, just from my own personal experience, I much prefer, you know, a very basic thing to trick my opponent. So, like, the point is that at any point in time, you know, when I'm in my on guard or whatever, you know, I can easily slip in and out of stances. You know, I don't have a problem with that. You know, like that's the point. You know, we can run stances all day. You know, like that's not the point. We could do these all day. You know, like that's not the point. The point is, you use these for a purpose. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, in Kung Fu, one of the most basic things that I didn't know right away with a sword is that a lot of times blocking is actually attacking. Yep. And that's the case with, like, you know, the open-handed stuff too. But like, you know, sort of like I did the falling hammers the other day. You know, where we did it off of the, you know, we did that one. You know, we're really hitting that and spinning into them. You know, that's the idea. Is you're catching them off balance, and spinning into them. And so you apply that concept a lot of times to the sword in martial arts, where basically, you know, it really is, you know, stuff like that, where your block is your attack. You know, a lot of times I'll think I would much rather use the butt of this sword, you know, to as I'm going in, I might think to block with it, you know, like I did with the falling hammers. That's the point. Is if I know what I'm doing, I can catch it just right. Now I don't want to do that with a sword. So the idea is that if I can catch it before they can get it off, the idea is that you can bump them, or, you know, use that same concept. These are actually fairly basic concepts, where you're just using the concept of getting them off balance to, you know, do your next move, do your next attack. Proper striking with a sword. It is not like this. It is not like this. It is not like this. It is exactly the same way you would, with a chop that comes down too, where basically we bring this chop out only once our elbow is at a certain point. That's basically the point. Is to only to keep that bent, because then if you would need to, you can always quickly pull it back. You don't necessarily need to keep it out there. So that's the point. So the same rule applies to a sword. When you are slicing with a sword, you keep that bent until you absolutely need to. Okay? And then the point is that way, if you would need to, you can slice back the other way, right? Because now, instead of committing with your whole elbow, you're just committing with your shoulder, and now you can flick your elbow the other way and the wrist follows. So, with that concept in mind, we come to defensive blocking. Right like that. Basically, right like that. Basically, what you want to do with this is proper cigaring technique. I don't expect you guys to get this, and I'm not going to go into like a huge spiel on this, because this is something that it's sort of like a pinch harmonic on guitar. You either get it or you don't. So I'll say it, and I'll just go through it really quick. But this is one of those things where a lot of people put down the sword and decide not to use it because of this exact thing. And this is that one thing that you gotta do, because this means your fingers are dexterous enough to wield a sword and use it properly. So, cigaring, that's what they call it. The reason they call it this is because when you first learn it, you cigar it. That's why. Okay? So, cigar, flip forward. That's it. Back around, between the fingers. Back up. That's how you practice it. Okay? You should be able to just be good enough. I mean, this is a really, really tiny little freaking sword, and I can still do that. This thing, if you're not good, I mean, you're just going to fly out of your hand. It's light, it's sort of fumbly. So that's the sort of thing where, you better practice that one. Yeah, it's sort of like a musician that can play on any instrument, like that's the point, is if he's good, he can play on anything, So yeah, like while I can use this, it's not necessarily the best. So that's the point, is get a sword that's comfortable to learn with. Don't use something stupid like this, like foam. Get a sword that, like a practice sword or something. You could get some of those lightsabers are actually, like, I know it's as funny as that sounds, but like, as long as the handle is decent. Learning a lightsaber, though, is very different than learning a normal sword, though, specifically because of that. The handle's so weird. So anyway, cigaring is everything. It's how you learn to roll. It's how you recover from, sort of like things like that. Like if I want to quick slash your sword down, I can do that. So like if someone's attacking me and I want to slash their sword down, I can sort of recover a bit. I don't lose my sword. I can kind of like twirl it and recover a bit, and still sort of slash down. So that's the point. That's the point of that, is literally you don't it's that defensive offensive thing. A lot of times when you do that, you can even target the hand and disarm and stuff, but it really is as simple as down, 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 down. And as they do those stabs, it's a push kind of where you're just letting the sword fall and letting the sword fall. So that way we're combining the concepts of this. That's what we're doing. You literally are just combining these concepts. Somebody throws a couple of punches, you just sort of brush it to the side, and then they just kind of go to the side or go down. It's the concept that you just sort of flow with it. Okay? So yeah, it should just sort of kind of be down, down. You can do that too, but that one takes a while. This one, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the sort of one where, like, it's real goofy. See, right there, that's where it's real goofy, and the shorter the sword, the goofier. Look how short this thing is. Just a point of comparison. Yeah. That's why. So, yeah, it's sort of like you do this, but basically the concept is you're already getting forced back. So you want to get out of this anyway. This isn't a permanent thing. This is like, ah. So a good technique here is the double stab I showed you. Ah. Bump. Double stab. You can also go like this. Okay. And bump up. And then switch sides to double stab. I'm trying to do this so you can see it. So anyway. Cigaring teaches you how to do this with the wrist, and basically, if you want to get better at this, I think of a way you could. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that without some of these basic drills. So that's the point, is like some of these basic blocking drills that we would normally do in class and stuff that I would teach in my classes, you need some of these drills to understand how this properly works. And that's the point. That's why Kung Fu and martial arts, stand-up fighting relates to the sword so well. But anyway, cigaring is the first step to the defense. That's how you get into that stance, okay? You cigar, defense, okay? And then the idea is that you can keep it behind you. The idea is to learn like dagger, short sword, things like that, and then you can use your open hand for things to disarm and stuff like that. The purpose is for them to trick them to forget about this. That's the idea. It's also like, like maybe your sword gets broken. Like you got somebody with a katana who knows what they're doing, and they just chopped your sword in half, and now it's like, so now I guess I better do this. Yeah, so now you can block his sword still, but you want to brace that against your arm, and use that appropriately. So if you're gonna do that, and that's what you're doing, that's how you're doing it. So the way you would want to do that is, if you're planning on blocking a sword, a series of attacks that are coming in like this against this sword, what you want to make sure that you're doing is that you have to have this set up right, because if I hit that, see how hard I'm hitting that? Doesn't matter. It ain't moving. That's the point. Yeah, it's just a little bit. But that's the point, is as it shifts, I sort of shift it back. Okay? And then break. Slice. Okay? So the purpose is that as you do this, you brace it with this finger grip here, and it's sort of below the elbow. I know it's really, really hard to tell. My elbow is actually just above. Actually, really hard to tell. That's why. Okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to put it like right there, just above the elbow. So that way, as this hits, okay? Because it's going to come down. No, I mean, if it's going to come up, you're not going to want to block it like that. Yeah, you're gonna be doing weird stuff like this to try to block it, or you're just going to come down on it. But you definitely you definitely want that above the elbow there, so that you're blocking and then controlling that appropriately. Okay, bam, and then the idea is that as that hits, you can turn it back the other way. So you can do this. Okay, you can also go with it. You can do that spin that we did. Okay, where you sort of go with it. Okay. All right, and that's the point, is like to be able to go with it. No matter, you catch the sword, you got to knock him back a couple of times, and then you're just like right in front of him. That's the concept that we're dealing with there. So anyway, do you guys get that? Does that make sense? Right like that. That's your defense. Don't hold it like this. That's just stupid. You gotta get the finger up. 2 is too much. Just one finger. Right like that. Okay. Okay. So now you guys get that, right? Yeah. This is that's just it. Like, this takes a while, all right? So again, I'll show it to you one more time. Back, between the fingers, forward, grab, between the fingers, up. Okay. And then when you get good, it's gonna look like that. Yeah. It'll look like that. Okay, so that's the point, is that you should be able to, even with some little tiny sword, like this thing's light as a feather. So it's actually very easy to drop, so I can't do it fast. If I do it fast, it's just going to go flying across the room. The air will take it. But yeah, that's the point, is to be able to just, as much as you want. So, as far as easy sword techniques are concerned, a lot of what I just explained can be applied to the rest of it. However, it's good to go over some basic striking. And I've already explained that, like, how to strike with a sword. Don't do your, little axe chop. Obviously, slice, follow through like you would with a real chop, like I explained earlier and everything. Don't extend until you're ready to actually do the strike. Now, other basic things to consider with Kung Fu. A lot of times, you are like here. Let's be honest. In Kung Fu, a lot of times you are like you're here, okay? And you're stuck in this position where you might have a sword, and you're in some sort of low stance, okay? Maybe you're back here, all right? And so the question is now, from this low stance, from this very awkward position, how do I easily defend myself against just something like this? How? How on earth? Here I am, I'm just like in my stupid low stance. Oh, Kung Fu guy, he doesn't know anything. I'm just gonna run up and, yeah. How? How do we? I'll show you. Very, very simple. So, this will depend on the stance, first. Secondly, it is using one concept. The concept is, they know you are in a low stance. So if you see this, you see this big hit coming at you, something like that, just really big hit coming at you. All right, low stance. Low stance. The concept is, how do I get lower? That's the concept. So, that's it. It's very easy. Now the question is how? We use animals. So, if we're in horse, let's say we're in like this low horse stance. We got this sword. Maybe we're here. Maybe we're here. Wherever we're at, we're in this low horse stance, and we got this sword, and we're like, oh man, he is taking a nice, big, juicy swing at me. So we're gonna twist. The swing's gonna come. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna twist, and we're gonna angle this stab straight up, right like that. Does that make sense? Now, what you could do is you could turn it to a counter strike, like a stab, or you can just block straight up. Now, remember how I said angle it? We're doing that, okay? So, again, if we're in the horse, really low, okay, and they come in, well, literally all we gotta do is, okay, and then, we can just sort of turn that into what. We can slash the legs for this one. However, the question then becomes, for some of these weird stances, how do we get out of that? So like let's say we're in one of these, right? We've all seen these, right? Somebody's just way out here, right like this. You all see these, right? Okay, so yeah, let's say the bag is my attacker, and now they're coming at me. I am pretty exposed here. The question is, what would I want to do? Believe it or not, this stance is awesome for this because you're already low. Yep, this is the mistake people make. That's why the horse stance is awesome. That's why this stance is awesome. You're already low. See, people always think, oh man, I gotta get leverage. Oh, use the ground. Use your own leverage. Use your own center of gravity, I should say. So, with this one, if the slash is coming at me, literally do you guys remember this one? Okay, same concept. But we're going to shift our stance immediately. So we're going to do a shift, immediately back the other way, wrap. Now, it probably won't look that pretty. Maybe we'll even sort of just get the block in and just kind of step with it, because they're sort of coming at us, so it won't look that pretty. But the point is, that's the concept, is to shift the stance you already have. Literally just shift your legs to the other side. Literally just. That's it. And then when you do that shift, it'll feel more all in one motion. So, okay. And then if you guys want to see that a little bit faster, it's going to look like this. Okay, so you're really going to take that sword and whip that thing around. You're just going to... And that is okay if we lay that on our neck, because we have a... Remember, we have a curved blade for this one. So, I think that about covers it. Yeah. If you're in a horse, just drop down and block up. And then this long stance. You can also shift down. If you really want to, you can shift down. I wouldn't recommend it. You can technically, you can, if you want to do this, you can technically shift down out of the way. I don't like it, not for me, but you can shift down out of the way and do a kick. You can literally just kick, shift out of the way, kick. Be aware, the sword is coming at your leg though. Yeah, that's why I said I wouldn't do it, but you can do back leg sweep. That's probably smarter. You just sweep out them legs. But yeah, basically, if you're in this long stance, that's the point, is you really don't have, you're going to have to shift your legs all of a sudden. So what I suggest is just shift your stance back the other way all of a sudden. And then now you already have that momentum going for you, because you already have that shift. Okay? So again, and then you can even slice through with that one. That one's one of those cool ones. One of those cool ones. What are we going to work on? What are we going to work on? You know what we could do? So, a really fun one to do. Yeah, a really fun one to do is to, like, if you like defensive stances. So you're going to do this with both hands. If you have that nice defensive stance, what you're going to do is wait for the attack. And you're going to slice the hands right back this way. Flip the sword around. And then, so again, this one's really fun. So again, this is defensive. Basically, we have the sword back here. This is katana, guys. Yeah, this is more like katana than anything. So we're gonna we have the sword back here. What we're gonna do is bring it forward to block. Again, block, and you're just gonna shove straight in. Oh, you can slice, but the idea is flip it over. So again, boom, and then you can flip this too if you want. See how I flipped that? If it's back here, you can flip it defensive and do this defensive. You know what I'm saying? So basically, this comes across to block like this, and then you just stab. Or offensive, where you come in and you block and still stab. by the way. We're pushing like that. Alright guys, well, I mean, I've given you guys a lot of little tips, a lot of information here. This is a lot of stuff. I've been very kind in this video. There's a lot of information here, really. I hope you guys enjoy it. I was planning to do a sort of normal stream with you guys. I'll show you how dark it is at my house right now. Like, that's the point, is like I want to do this stuff outside a lot of times, but like it gets dark so early, and then it's cold. This is freaking cold. What's up with my hair lately? That's better. Yeah, hair's being weird lately. It's that getting older thing, right? Look how like the one spot is like really fading. Yeah, like there's a couple of spots that are like really, really fading. Yeah, the blue is coming out. One sec, guys. Give me a sec. Whew. I gotta shave. Do a shave stream. It's so absurd. I do need to shave though. It's gotta happen. Clean up my mess. You guys see my dusty old drum set? It's not that old. I guess it kind of is at this point. I've had it since high school. Yeah, since like right my senior year, I think. Yep. Had that since my senior year in high school. We got this, like, it's old. It's all dusty. I gotta clean it. But I mean, it still functions. It still functions. It's still a drum set. So anyway. What do you guys want to do? What is everybody doing today anyway? Do you guys want to should we actually do a stream today? Should we actually do a stream today? Like an actual one? I mean, I did the Kung Fu talk. Should we do more campfire stories? I need to get an energy drink if we're doing a stream. I need caffeine. Well, I can make coffee. I'm just thinking. Oh man, my legs. I've been really working out like crazy. That's why I didn't do a lot of kicking and loose stuff. Those loose stances that you guys saw me do. That's all I'm doing. Yep, that's it. I'm not doing anything else. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where like it's the sort of thing where like I was easily doing that stuff full tilt, and then I wasn't. So I just doing it all again. Like my legs are killing me. The funny thing is, if I work out before, they wouldn't. They really wouldn't. It's the sort of thing where I was able to easily handle that. Anyway, let me give me a second here. Ha! What's up? Give me a second here. Where's my nunchucks downstairs? Hold on a second. my nunchucks down in the basement. Shit. Yeah, I mean, all right. So, guys, I wanted to do some nunchuck stuff with you, but okay, here's the deal. They're all rusted, and I don't know why. Yeah, I got to them, and they're all rusted and messed up, and they're like, what the? So, like, I have these. But they're foam, and it's just a little. I feel like it's a little cheesy. But I mean, I do have them, and we can do doubles, you know. But that's the point. Is like the stuff's too low down here. You end up having to do it lower, and you really don't want to do that. So yeah, like I mean, it's the sort of thing where like I could show you, but I just feel like they're cheesy being foam, and at the same time, I don't really have the space. I guess it's not too bad over here, but again, I feel like the foam's a little cheesy. I had Bruce Lee on my other ones. I had really thick ones, but yeah, I do doubles, obviously. Every set of nunchucks I have, I got a second pair, because we did doubles. Yeah, so. And a lot of doing nunchucks is body conditioning, whacking yourself with them. No, it really is. If you don't know anything about it, just throwing that out there. Every single time you go out and back and down, you're smacking your body. Just so that you know. For those who don't do it, don't know anything about it, that is literally what you're doing. You are smacking your body constantly with a piece of wood very hard. So that's a lot of also what Bruce Lee had under his belt. He was very good at them, and his body was like rock solid. And that was a lot of reason why he's just smacking himself with those nunchucks like freaking, like, well, like anybody would who's learning it properly. Sorry. Didn't mean to get so close to my face. My bad. We're going out, get an energy drink. I'm gonna not look like a bum. Dynamic pulse. Just kidding. I think I just wet my drink though. Yep. This is what your hair looks like when you wear a headset all the time. It didn't look like this till I wore a headset all the time. I know, I got a pimple on my head. You guys will get over it. It's actually, it's a skin tag, is what it is. That's what they're called. It's harmless. Sometimes they're not once you get them removed. Shave stream. I wonder how long I could like stand here fixing my hair before somebody yells at me. I was like waiting for somebody to be like, "What are you doing?" All right, 1 second before we go. 1 second. Oh man, I did this vertical this time, didn't I? I don't normally do that. Moon is out. Oh, I need a hoodie. It's freaking cold out here. I'm sorry, guys. I can't ever leave the house. My question is, how did I get halfway down the driveway? Yeah, that's my question. Miss. 1 sec, I promise. It will not be long. Okay. Yeah, it's just, it is a bit cold. I'm already wearing 2 layers and it's cold. So we're gonna jacket ourselves up. I feel like there's chain punches. We got some chain punches in there at the end. Some chain punches. Chain punch. Falcon punch. Falcon punch. Mount. My car mount. I need my car mount. I need my. Oh, I can't find it, guys. I'm gonna have to. Yes, sir. Oh, what the? Fidget spinner. Oh, where's my car mount? What the? What the heck? There's not even really that much stuff back here. What is going on? That's not good. I wonder if man, that's so weird. There's like nothing back here. I don't even know. There's nowhere for it to be. What the? Oh. That sucks. I literally had it earlier today too, guys, once with that video. That's so weird. Alright. Oh my god. Oh my god. I found it. Such an idiot. Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I found it. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know that we're going to be able to do this. After all that, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this because my car mount only works horizontal anymore. We'll just, we'll talk to that, I guess. This is your entertainment. Now I am back. I feel like people aren't seeing the streams for some reason. Yeah, that's what I think. I just think people aren't seeing the streams. It'd be good if we had like a chat going though. Make the stream more fun. A little bit of back and forth. But that's okay. We got plenty of campfire stories. So I decided to add that to that last video just because I think, you know, it kind of fits, you know, just me sitting there talking about old, you know, stories from when I was teaching and stuff. Just reminded me, yeah, just like, you know, it's like campfire stories, you know. So that's why I threw that in the end, you know. Put that in on the title. I just thought it seemed pretty valid. So, I don't know. I don't know what I feel like getting into tonight. I thought maybe I'd get on a stream for a little bit, chill with you guys. That's what we're doing. I'm really getting, we're getting soda, but probably get some sort of energy drink or something to get on the stream with you guys. And I just think, just figured take you guys with me, and we can talk about stuff. Talk whatever you want. No, I don't know, whatever. But like I said, we already did the kung fu stuff. We did that earlier, so that's why I figured now we'll just we have some time. I'll take you guys with me. You guys can talk to me. Like, if you guys want to ask me kung fu stuff, you can too. Martial arts questions in general, I love that. Especially if it involves specific I love my friend and I, we sit and talk, the death battles, like Goku versus this person, or that's just who I think of immediately. I think it's who a lot of people think of. So that's where my mind goes when I think that. But you guys can get creative with it too, if you have other interesting creative questions for me, things you want to ask me about martial arts. But yeah, I love, who would you pick, this person, this person. I can't really say much as far as the sport martial arts, because I don't really watch it. That's a lot of the reason why I can't say much about it. I don't really want to either, but I don't watch it. So how can I say much about something that I don't know much about, if that makes sense? If I don't watch it, I don't know much about the fighters. I don't know a whole lot about them, so I can't really say anything. But yeah, as far as I love anime, I love Naruto, I love DBZ, action movies. Who doesn't love John Wick? Who doesn't love the Bourne movies? Some of my favorite martial arts movies definitely have Jackie Chan in them. We already talked about, some of my favorite martial arts movies before. But also we talked about how on the cheesiness scale, a lot of times with martial arts movies, you sort of get into a little bit of the cheesiness, because I feel a lot of times they depict a skill set that really sort of doesn't exist anymore. These people, it was more of a lifestyle. Now sometimes you can get you can run into people like that live like monks and that practice that way, but it typically doesn't really happen as much anymore. And so and they're not really at war anymore either, so they're not hardening themselves for those reasons too. So it's just that's the point, is they're depicting something that we really don't see much anymore. So it's supposed to be that much more over the top, extra. And so that's the point, is that a lot of times you get wire work in there that I don't really care for, where they're just lifting them up with wires and stuff like that. And in my opinion, that's not showing what true martial arts is. That's just showing that you can do stuff with Hollywood and lift people up with wires. What do we care about that? I think it's cool sometimes, when they do it with the Matrix, and there's a reason for it, sci-fi and stuff like that. But if you're trying to do this with a martial arts movie, and you're not you're actually saying this guy's a martial artist, but he can jump 3 times his own height, and we're acting as if people can, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it was almost like they could fly. It was just really that cheesy. So that's what I mean by cheesiness. I don't think that all of it's cheesy. because we're talking about really good martial artists and stuff a lot of times that do these things. But just on the choreography scale and the practicality scale, I think that a lot of times it ends up looking cheesy because they just went over the top with it, a little on the extra side. Because that was the purpose, that was the point, is that, like, for example, if you take Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the concept was that these monks would train their feet to be so light that the drills they would do they would walk on like rice paper. And so, like, the idea is that even walking on paper by itself, you probably, sometimes break it. But rice paper is so thin and so brittle. The idea is that if you can walk on that, your feet are so light that, like, that was the concept, was that they knew how to make their feet that light that they could literally, like, leap off of branches, and actually very similar to what they did in Naruto, except that, like, that was even over the top too, where they're just like leaping for like miles and miles and miles. But yeah, I mean, that was the point, was that if a Shaolin monk wanted to climb a tree with his feet, he could. And so that was the point, and they just really, really took it over the top and made it just way too extra. And that's okay. Some people really like that. I didn't care for that style, that's all. I prefer more realistic approach, and that's why I talked about, like, Ong-Bak 2 being one of my favorites. And I also really enjoyed the first Ip Man movie. I thought was one of the best martial arts movies ever made. Because I also think Donnie Yen is what, probably one of the best, if not the best, modern martial artist alive. I do believe that, and I think he's arguably up there as the best. Especially like with some of these guys that have been doing it forever that we used to consider the best, like Jackie Chan or something, that are like getting older. If that makes sense. Some of these guys are getting older. Okay, so we just came to the store here to get some soda. And I apologize. Normally I would have you guys up looking at the road, but I started the stream vertically. And now I can't. I could try, but I would really have to rig it up to get my thing to keep the phone vertical. It's the sort of thing where, like, one of the sides was like foam and the other side is still foam. So, like, the one side that was foam, where the foam is gone, now it's just gonna slide down and it doesn't grip the phone. And so if I turn it vertical, it's fine. But yeah, like, it's just gonna slide down, fall off. So if I had like tape, I guess I could probably do it. But even like when I squeeze the bracket, I don't know why I'm telling you. I'm just show you. It's this thing. It's missing the foam. That's why. This side has the foam. So, like, I can put it in there and it stays sideways. But yeah, like, I don't know why I was telling you all that. I'll just show it to you. That's why. So it just like slides out. But yeah, anyway, I'm probably going to, like I said, grab some soda, energy drink, and I will be back. If I do that, though, it's gonna fall. But my thing is, like, if I put it facing forward, yeah, I can't do that. My bad. I'm just gonna go I'll be back. There we go. That's better. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we can do that on the way back. Hopefully it doesn't slide. Hopefully. If it falls when I get out, I am sorry. I'm back. What's up? Got some soda. Got some soda. Soda, soda, soda. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's freaking cold. I just wanted to do like one of those commercials, you know, like, or like it's just like stupid sound effects for things. I think that shit's funny. Have you guys ever seen a movie called Kung Fury? I wonder if I could react to that. If you've never seen it, go watch it, because it's better than this stream. But Kung Fury, Kung Fury is literally like a low-budget movie they made and threw it on YouTube. And it's so good. It's Kung Pao, but I don't know, it might even be better than Kung. It's just so funny. And then they had a music video that David Hasselhoff did. Yep, it was amazing. He wasn't in the movie though. He just did the video, the song. Believe it or not, he did the song. Yeah, it was his song. Yeah, I think David Hasselhoff found out about autotune, and so just decided to start a music career.
Because that's all, I mean, you can tell all he's doing is just sort of like kind of loosely singing it, and then they just auto tune it, and it sounds great. But yeah, I mean, at least it's not like heavy, like he's bad at singing or anything. Because if you're bad at singing and then they adjust it, it sounds awful. It really does. It's hard to tweak that if you're bad at it. It'll sound a certain way. That's why, like, for some of those early artists that were just sort of doing that, that's why for some of those early artists that were just doing that, you know, where they couldn't sing and they were just slapping autotune on, you can really hear like when it changes in between the keys, because that's the point. That's when they're the most off, is when they're changing, because they're not singing in key. Yeah, it won't flow. I need some music. I feel like that phone's gonna fall. I really hope it does not. Be very careful. No. No. Don't fall. Still can't see me. I was hoping you'd be able to see it. Well, you can see me a little bit better, I guess. You won't be able to once you get on a certain road. There's really no street lights past this intersection. I really sort of do live in the mountains and the woods. That's why I like to put you guys and then face you guys toward the road when I'm driving at night, because then it's like, you know, you're at least seeing the road, you know. So I can do that. There you go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream so far. I definitely don't profess to be like some great, like the best streamer in like the world or anything, guys. I know a lot of times I talk about quality and stuff. That's just because like when I'm doing streams for my gaming, I do know what I'm doing with that stuff. So like a lot of times, like if someone, you know, sort of comes in and sounds like they're, you know, blaming it on like, you know, the setup or something like that, it's just like, you don't understand, like, I go through X, Y, and Z and like 20 other things before I decide it's this other problem. And it's like a lot of times it's like repetitive things where I've seen it before. So like I just know, you know. And you know, like I've dealt with it through the years of being a PC gamer and building my own gaming computer for as long as I can remember, you know. So it's the sort of thing where, yeah, like I know that I'm, you know, recognizing the right things. And I also like go out of my way to talk to other people about it too that are familiar with these things. And I also have like good friends too that are. So, you know, just goes to show that, you know, like I do really try to make sure that I'm not saying anything that would be incorrect. I really do try to do that, and I'll backpedal if I do. I'll admit I'm wrong. I think that's obvious, which is another reason, like, I'm trying to do Hearthstone as uploads, because like I'll admit that like sometimes I am wrong, but that's actually just because it's happened so many times in the past So I'll admit it's gotten better, but it's like now I'm so vigilant, so on my guard when I play that it's just hard to, it really is hard to play it live. And also they do stream snipe. So how am I supposed to know, you know? Yeah, so like that's where I'll just admit that I probably should have been doing that to begin with. I probably should have been uploading to begin with. But that's okay, you know, that's lesson learned. I'll just try to do that, you know, for now at least, and then, you know, maybe like later on we'll see about, you know, like if obviously there's more of a following, you know, we can spend more resources on things to go live with certain stuff that we wouldn't normally be able to, but you know, right now I just can't really do that. I'll slow down here. It's actually 35 through here, and this usually triggers the person behind me. Yeah, so like basically it slows down from 45 to 35 here, and usually like this is very, for some reason this is very jarring for people when you slow down to the speed limit. Now I don't like push the brakes. I'm sure you guys noticed there I sort of just kind of slowed down. No, actually surprisingly he's not. He is sort of swerving back and forth. He's keeping his distance, so that's fine. I don't care. He can swerve back and forth as long as he doesn't tailgate me. I don't care. Yeah, I really don't care what they do as long as they don't tailgate me. If they're tailgating me, that's dangerous. That's my point. It's like now you're being dangerous, you know. But like if you're just back there messing around and you're keeping your distance, I don't care. I'll just keep driving along, minding my own business. Black Friday. It's Black Friday. It really is. I mean, here we are. Black Friday. The day after Thanksgiving, 2023. It's like nobody online today. I feel like everybody's just doing their stuff today, you know? Maybe what, with family still. Crazy. It's a very dead day. It's expected. Yesterday I was doing my my streams, and we had a few visitors, and I appreciate the people that came into the stream during their holiday. Appreciate that. Came into the stream while you were you know, on your holiday, doing your own thing with your family and all that. I appreciate you coming in the stream to keep me company. And you know, for those who, you know, don't necessarily celebrate it or don't have much to do those days, that's why we do that stuff. You know, we keep working. You know, there really is, unless I say so, really is no breaks. Like I typically try not to do that. There would have to be like a real reason for it, you know. So there's really no breaks. I'm here to learn and put out better and better content all the time. At least try. And at least what I think is better content. That, you know, better than my previous. I'm not saying better than somebody else. I'm just saying like, better than before. You know, like this. Was better than the one yesterday, you know, or something like that. I also am somebody that lives with the concept that, you know, your best does change from day in and day out. You know, it's not gonna, you can't expect your best to be the same from yesterday. And no, you know, the point is to recognize when your best does change, and not, you know, not push yourself too hard on those days that, you know, like it's, you're just having a bad day, you know, then that's when you take your break. You know, there's no breaks, but like if you're having a bad day, recognize that, you know, just take it easy. And that's what we as people need to realize. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, but at the same time, push yourself. Set goals. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just not as vocal about that stuff as I used to be. Part of the reason for that is just because of the unfortunate experience that I've had online with, just with, crazy people. It really is what it is. And I definitely want to avoid having those issues again. So that's just why I'm less vocal about like goals and stuff like that. But they are there. I'm still striving for that 500 we've been striving for like ever. Okay. Oh man. We got soda. I'm gonna sit here with you guys for a minute. I need to get together with somebody who, would regularly want me to, or essentially just regularly allow me to sort of make videos with them, like martial arts videos and stuff like that, so that way you guys can get more out of it, and it's not just me standing in front of you showing you stuff on a bag and like in the air, and then you learn kind of half of it. It's left to interpretation, of how it would actually work on an attacker. There we are. Is it all spooky? I'll lean back. Here we are. I'm thinking about this is the new normal that I talked about. I mean, I've always done this, guys. We used to do stuff like this a lot more, where we just talk and treat it like a vlog. And I want to keep doing that, where I have a chance to sit and tell you guys what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I want to keep going with Hogwarts Legacy. And that's like the new sort of like main thing. Aside from, like the obvious. I already said Last Epoch is awesome. And I love that game. I've already decided that's not going anywhere. I just wanted to get, up and level and really work that before I jump back on stream with that. There's some other stuff, that I really wanted to do that with too. So, it's not like I'm not trying that. It's just, sometimes I feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I do it a little bit off stream and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. So that happens too. Blizzard games do that to me a lot of times, where I'm playing it and I'm like, this is good. This is good. This is good. Now it's not. They change things sometimes, but also like, especially with WoW, it was different back in the day. It's hard to even say. It was the time. Like everything wasn't instant or didn't need to be. And people were fine with that.
And World of Warcraft is becoming more of a dollar store MMO. Now, I shouldn't say that. It's more of a Walmart MMO. Yeah, like, it looks great. Yeah, and you can pay your way to the top for sure. I mean, it's not a bad game. I don't think WoW is like bad in like the current state of things. It's different. Um, WoW Classic right now I've heard is really fun. You know, Lich King and everything. I've heard that like it does definitely, especially because like you have a lot of those people that are playing it now that played it back in actual Wrath. I know of a few. So that definitely having that community in there can absolutely make it feel like it did, you know. So that's something for you guys too to, you know, if you're thinking about WoW, I would just recommend probably WoW, you know, Classic. Hitman 3 is probably something that like won't leave the repertoire. You know, like how I just have games that I love that I'll just keep going back to. Metal Gear Solid's gonna be one too. Like we're gonna keep going back to it, guys. Like when I say this is my favorite console game of all time, I'm not just saying that. I'm gonna go back to it. You have to understand that like comparatively I've played that game so freaking much at this point. I'm more playing it for entertainment value, if that makes sense. I've already played the crap out of it. And also like achievements and stuff like that. Snake Eater, I'm gonna have a lot more fun playing that because that one I didn't play like a ton. I probably played through it 3 or 4 times. But like the first Metal Gear Solid, that had to have been at least 8 times that I played through that thing, like all the way through. At least, yeah. Yeah. So like I definitely enjoy that. And I really, really love, like, when I just show up with a game that you guys have never seen, and I'm just sitting there playing it, and I haven't really played it that much either. And nobody's seen it, I haven't seen it, and we can all enjoy being like, what the heck is this thing? Is it good? We can laugh at it a little bit when I don't know what I'm doing. You guys are allowed to laugh at me, by the way. Like, I'm not gonna, like, get all offended. So, like, I really don't care if I suck at a game. And I really don't care if, like, you guys laugh. If, like, all right, like, the other day... No, I shouldn't even say the other day. It was yesterday, wasn't it? I was doing the relax stream. We were playing Hogwarts Legacy, and I was just doing the relax stream. I wasn't talking, so I was just typing this. But like I walked off an edge and died. And I was typing in chat, and I was typing, you know, like this is kind of epic fail in the game, because then the game crashed on the load screen when it went to load the game. And while yeah, that's pretty epic fail, right? The game doesn't normally do that, so yeah, that's pretty epic fail. And I was like, oh, I think I just lost all the progress because probably the autosave doesn't work. Because, I didn't think it would. I honestly didn't think the autosave worked like that. They must have updated it since the game came out, because I don't think it used to save that often. But I'm glad that it does. It was right where I had been just before that happened, and so I wasn't even talking. I was just sort of typing this in chat. And I feel like sometimes even when I'm talking, it's difficult to tell. Like, I won't care if people are laughing in chat and having a good time. Doesn't bother me. Not even a little bit. I actually enjoy that. It helps me have a good time with it too, if I can laugh at myself. It's when I see, like, people come in
and they sit and they wait for that. And it's almost like that they were sitting in the stream and waiting until I died or something like that, and then they're like, "All right, see ya, I'm out of here," or something like that. They really weren't there to watch the stream. It's that it's like really confusing what people are doing on the channel. Uh, Aside from that, I really don't mind like if somebody's like LOL or something, like I'm dying, and that's what it is. I think maybe because like there was a guy in chat that LOL when I did that, and I think maybe you thought like I had some sort of problem with that. I'm just gonna tell you I didn't. I thought that was funny too. Uh, I was just stating it's a pretty epic fail on the game. So like I was a little annoyed that the game crashed at that point, but I wasn't annoyed at the guy laughing at the fact that I died. I was laughing at it too. I was really laughing, and then the crash on the load screen. That's what'll irritate me is like the game doing something dumb because of that happened. But then again, that's not at people in chat that would be laughing at the fact that I died. Again, that would be at the game. So just so you guys know how to take me a little bit, I can laugh at myself when I die. I often think that's hilarious. Yeah, I think this actually bothers the trolls too, because I think the trolls try to make it out to be that I am not that way. So then when I die and I laugh at myself, I think that's what it is. I think I just leave, And that happens a lot. I laugh at myself when I die. I'll sort of just laugh because I think that's funny. It's really funny sometimes, especially now Hitman. That's why, like in Hitman, like sometimes it's annoying because you'll set things up a certain way and it's supposed to happen, and then it's like because of some weird glitch that you've never seen before, it didn't happen, and you're like, wait, what? And then like somebody that's watching might be able to be like, well, this actually was why, and you're like, oh, okay, all right, I guess. Because you were playing the game, there's so many variables that you miss this one little tiny thing. And somebody that's watching will, of course, be able to absorb that because they're watching and not playing. And so, like, sometimes this happens too. But, like, with Hitman, like, there was just so many, like, little tiny glitches over the years that, like, it was hard to keep track. So, that's why, like, I'll jump to conclusions about that. But, no, I can definitely laugh at myself when it's the sort of thing where I didn't spend crap loads of time getting too much into this, and then I died. I'm fine. I'm fine either way. If it's the sort of thing where I'm dying a lot, I'm probably just gonna quit the game anyway. Like, why would I play that? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, there it goes. Cut off. What are we gonna do, guys? Are we committing to a stream? I should say, am I committing to a stream? I probably am. Question is what? If I want to do Hogwarts Legacy just like now. When I play Hogwarts Legacy, I want lots of time to play it because I get into it. I'll be honest, I do. What's that?
I was thinking like I was actually thinking about that Marble It Up game. That was really fun. I'm just trying to think of what I want to play. Is there anybody out there? Everybody's being so silent. What do you guys want me to play? Besides Hogwarts Legacy? Besides that one. I haven't played Starfield in a hot minute. So these are the phone checks. Phone checks. I mean, again, I can't really. I shouldn't really be swinging them in here. There's a lot of times I hold them right around there. You'll typically have a finger up like that. Sometimes like this, depending on what you're doing, and they chamber right like that. So you're holding them about like here, but then a lot of times when you start using them, your hand shifts up to here. So yeah, initially it's about like that. Guess that I can't really. It's just too. There's a banister here. There's furniture. You really don't want to swing these things in around inside. Plus, like I said, these are the foam ones, so I just think they're a little cheesy anyway. But like a couple of things that you can do is when it's like down like that, you can flip it up and grab it. Okay. You just want to really practice being able to flip it up and grab it. If I can't show you, I have to look at the screen and look at this. So I'll try to do it some bunch of times, and hopefully you guys will be able to see. So basically when I catch it, you want to practice catching it right like that, so that way you can get it in your hand and toss it. Okay, so basically I'm trying to, okay, right like that, and then you put it in your hand and angle it. So even if you sort of kind of only grip the edge, I'm trying to do this so you guys can see. Even if you kind of grip the edge and you get it in the wrong spot, you can shift it down. But it's really hard to show you in here because I'm trying not to hit anything. I have to keep adjusting, and but the idea is that you can also flip it up like this too. If you are good with it, you can just sort of come up like this. That's how I do it. You teach yourself like this, okay? But your reality, a lot of times, you're just gonna toss it up really quick and then flick it. It's gonna look right like that, or we toss it up. Okay. Right like that. So yeah, for doubles, it's sort of the same thing, where we just have them tucked in right like that. A lot of times, a lot of times with doubles, you have one tucked in. You're not even using the other one. It's, you know, there if you drop one, basically. I wish I could show you. I can't. There's just so much here. And I honestly, you know what? Nah, because they're it's sort of lame with the foam. Just feels a certain way showing it that way. But what's nice about these is they are like legit nunchucks. They have the real ball bearings and stuff. They're just foam. It's plastic with foam though, so it's not like you could use them, you know, that way. But yeah, you can practice legit with them because they have the real bearings and stuff in them. That's really what matters. As long as, let's see if I can do this without hitting anything. As long as you can get a good spin going, that's really what matters, you know. You know, that's really what matters, as long as you can get that good spin going. And those real bearings will have that. Okay. So that's what you want. You want to be able to get that good spin going. And again, it's just cheap to show it with the foam, but that's the idea, is to test whether you can, you know, get that spinning. And if it goes flying off, yeah, see, this is really like drilled in here. That goes all the way through. It's not for show. That's the point. That's what you want. It needs to go all the way through. So yeah, for doubles, you'll just sort of tuck those underneath right like this. That's how we start with doubles. Right like that. I mean, you're gonna start the same way with the other one, but you just sort of throw it out. So when you, again, I can't really show you too much, but when you start with these, it's outside, it's side, back, down. So it's out, back, down. So again, these are foam, but you get the idea. So when they're sort of just in your hand like this, you can drop and chamber if you really want to. I would recommend doing that. I would recommend throwing it out, back and down, just to get, you know, the sort of practice in there and just get used to. You just do it every time, you know. A good one to do off this, again, I can't show a lot because of the foam, but a good one to do is to just come straight out and back. Okay, straight out and back. So it's just down is all it is. Okay, so again, these are foam, so there's only so much I can do with them. But again, we're just holding here, and it's straight out and down. Okay, so you're just combining that concept of going out to the side, but down with it. Okay. Okay, and then we're just coming straight back to the chamber again. And again, if we want to get there, it's out to the side, back and down. So out, back, down, out, back, down, out, back, down, out, back, down. And again, I'm trying to go slow because I don't want to hit anything. So this is really slowed down. And we're using foam again. Just foam. What's up? I saw somebody come in. What's up? Oh man. What's up? So, I think it's time to do like a normal stream. Maybe what do you guys want to do? I'm trying to think of what I want to play. I don't know. What do we want to play? Like, a little condensation there in my drink. Cheers. I want. You know what? We still have to finish that Sims house too. Yeah, we gotta finish that. It's a nice, chill thing to play. It's cold outside, or it would be outside. It's cold. But yeah, we worked a bunch of sword stuff. True story. And basic blocks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. I think it's time to end this pointless back and forth of nobody being in here and giving me anything to play. So, I think it's time to end it. And maybe I'll see you for a stream soon, maybe. Obviously, we want to make things. I want to do streams that you guys want to see, you know? So, that's why I got on here. Like I said, it's easy to do the sword stuff because I can sort of show you what I'm doing. I can. It's a lot easier when I have a sword to move around. Whereas I'm just showing you my hand. Well, you block like this, and then you punch here.
Okay. You know what I mean? Like I could do that all the live long day. You know what I mean? All right, this is a type of block. This is a type of block. You know, and this is. I just, so, but like with a sword, it's more of having the visual representation of the sword to show you, you know, versus just my hand making a movement. You know, it's a little bit different. It's a commercial for Ghost Energy drink. All right, guys.